welcome back to the Sightless Dungeon. I'm your host, Brandon, the blind guy. And today again, we're kind of exploring AI again, but this time, we're going to be accessing our computer using Speaking Access. So everyone, please welcome the developer of Speaking Access, Christopher Much. How are you today, sir?
Oh, great, Brandon. Thank you.
So, it's very interesting how I discovered Speaking Access. I believe I was randomly on AppleVis and I saw a post under the categories and things like Speaking Access. And the reason why it caught my eye is because there were other programs that were kind of almost similar to Speaking Access, but kind of still require a lot of peripheral hardware connection, software connection to kind of communicate. But when I looked at the specifications and features of Speaking Access, it only requires two things: the program itself and a screen reader if needed. So it makes everything very simplified. Like, there's not one app that needs to connect with this app to make this app work. Then all the robust setup just to have built-in dictation, computer navigation, and things like that. But when I saw your application, it was just very crazy. And you are actually speaking to one of my clients who actually, I had her contact you because, she's actually one of the clients that I needed to, show her this because, again, most of us who are blind and visually impaired, we have, one or multiple disabilities. And so, Speaking Access, I'm like, hey, it was going to work. So, Christopher, what made you kind of go into like developing a program that works pretty well with a screen reader like NVDA?
To be honest with you, I saw a customer working. He was blind from birth as well, and he caught my attention because he was paying my invoice, and he was working on a computer with it was JAWS at the time, and it had no screen. And as a sighted person who'd never seen that before, I was fascinated by the technology, and so I went to go home, and I looked at JAWS and some other things, and I found NVDA and downloaded just to try it. And of course, I made the donation, and I downloaded it and tried it and realized that it was very complicated. See, I think after all of these years of accessibility, working on the computer and stuff, I realized that when you're blind from birth, you just get used to the keyboard. But for people like me who are older, like we've been around for a while, I started realizing there's a lot of people that that as they get older, they lose their vision. And the learning process, like for me, it was so hard. It was almost impossible, to be honest with you, for me to remember the almost 300 plus shortcut keys. And they've done a great job with NVDA and other screen readers, wonderful technology. But let's face it, words are more natural for our brain to absorb. Like control copy, you just say copy selection. It's a lot easier to remember. The other thing is that the issue is that there's a lot of like control copy. Almost every Windows user knows that. But how many people know on a regular basis what the browser address bar is, right? Or say that you want to get to the speakers in the control panel. That always doesn't come up right away. So with my program, all the shortcut keys, or 90% of them, are converted into a voice command. Like all with my program, or with Speaking Access, all you have to do is say browser. Sorry, my brain. Browser address bar. That's it. Oh, I better be careful so I don't activate that. So yeah, that's what it came from. And then by accident, I developed an audio program for blind and visually impaired. It was completely audio. There was no visual whatsoever. And then people that were looking at it, like people that had pain using the keyboard or dyslexics, because I don't know if your listeners know this, but dyslexia has a lot of science and a lot of really good tools that help. But they're very specialized. Actually, you probably can relate. They're extremely specialized, and not everybody can have them. Not every website can do it. But the one thing that's key is audio. That way you can double check your eyes with the audio of the spelling. So What that allows me to do is have a broader market, which allows me to bring the price down. Does that answer your question, Brandon?
Yes. So the program that, before I learned how to use Speaking Access, I was trying to get into it. You probably heard of it before. If you were a JAWS user, there was a program or a script known as JSA, which kind of operates the same way as Speaking Access, right? But again, it required so many different principles. Like you needed this software, and there was like a particular setup and everything just to have it work, right? Which made it more complicated because you also need like the Dragon natural speaking and things and such. But when I started to use Speaking Access, like during the trial mode, I saw like host mode, browse mode, and all these different things. And I was like, oh, it's just kind of smoother. It didn't require so much. It wasn't as like heavy as holding like JAWS, because JAWS is a little heavier than some other screen readers around here. But then on top of that, you have a script that needs to be updated here and there when JAWS updates, or, whenever they release updates and things and such to be up to date. But, I saw like how you were releasing, how people say, hey, Christopher, there's a bug going on with Speaking X. And you were like, okay, let me see what's going on. And your team just went into it, explored, and said, oh, we found the issue. And like, we'll fix it, release an update, and we'll tell you guys, when we had an update, which made it really smooth to kind of make it work. That's why I kind of like Speaking Access so far. I haven't really have explored it deep into it quite yet. I haven't got me the full version yet, but I'm planning to purchase my own pretty soon. But during the 7-day trial, like, man, doing this with no hands, it's just pretty cool. Everything was smooth. I think the only downfall I had so far was probably where my audio was, because I don't have a computer headset that has like a direct microphone to block out noise around me. So like now I'm just using an external microphone connected to an interface. So it wasn't like a good scenario for that. But when my other client was using it, it was working pretty well. It went and did it and everything pretty good. It was really interesting.
Sorry, were you done?
Yes.
Thank you, Brendan. Yes, I forgot to mention that. In order, you can work it, like you can, it's got two modes. It's got audio feedback, which is a speech recognition engine. So if you're going to navigate with the browser, if you're going to move around the screen, like move around and do stuff, you don't need the headset. But if you want the audio feedback, because it's constantly listening for any speech that you have, a microphone headset is necessary. So thank you for that clarification. Because the speech engine is it has to be fairly sensitive to know when you're talking, right?
Yeah. It's very interesting. And then, before I even saw Speaking Access, like built into Windows, there's what is it called? Voice Access, right? And I was like, I wonder if NVDA will work with this. It kind of didn't. But then when I took the principle and connected to Speaking Access, like, yo, Speaking Access is like having voice access combined with NVDA, which made it kind of a unique thing to like, because, I was trying it with voice access, like, okay, I can go to the desktop, I can open the application here and there, but, I couldn't switch to a program, close the program, or successfully, navigate the web without too many, voice prompts or commands guiding the computer. So I'm not sure. So do you want to go ahead and share your screen and kind of show the people?
Sure. What would you like to go over first? Would you like to hear? We'll try the audio, like the host mode.
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay.
Screen sharing me. Read full articles from local.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we're ready. You want to? Access. This is Brandon.
Did you say, Brandon?
Yes, I did.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Brandon.
There's an Easter egg for your customers. That's not in the directions. That's only for people that listen to programs like yours and are the ultimate in the know. So you can have fun with that too. So I'll go into post mode, and before I describe it, so when I open post mode, you see, Speaking Access is a program that you could say you might not like it, you might like it, but you definitely can't say it's not different. It's completely different in that Windows always has one window per form. Like in other words, you go into Word, it always is that standout, whereas Speaking Access changes to 3 different things and 3 different sizes. We have the main task area that has pretty much nothing on it except for the screen and just some graphics. And the second one is called post mode. That's the dictation. And then you have the third mode, which is the menu, and it's an audio. Actually, why don't we just have some fun? Why don't I show you the menu really quick, and we'll go find a sound effect, if that's okay.
Yep, that is fine. It was interesting what I did for myself too. Like, oh, listen, because I will listen to your walkthrough on the website. Like, and it's very helpful to have a guide, and it's very interesting. So let's go ahead and show the people what post mode and, how you can access the computer to find those sounds.
Thank you, Brendan. And the cool thing is I've got access running right now. I don't need to call Word. Like, I don't need to say start listening or anything. It's constantly listening.
Yes.
So yeah. So what I'll just do is I'll say access menu.
Have loaded main menu. 7 items in list. 1. Access the lesson plan. 2. Speaking access commands.
Speaking access commands.
Have loaded speaking access commands. 6 items in list. 1. Commands to know. 2. Post mode commands. 3. Print commands. 4. Access sound effects.
Access sound effects.
Presently in access sound effects. 9 items in list. 1. Drum roll please. 2. Play the trumpets please. 3. Access the ocean please. 4. Access was that funny.
Access was that funny.
Closing menu.
So there you go. Speaking Access has a sense of humor.
Yes, it does. It's kind of funny. Ironic, a lot of blind people, they really like to tell corny jokes. Yes. So it's really cool. So I know those sound effects probably weren't there when I first explored Speaking Access. I haven't been on there for a minute, but when I did it, it was cool. So play the trumpet and things and such. And like you said, this program is always listening, but something to Jay say with JAWS, that thing is always listening. So you had to turn the mic on, the mic off, and even with voice access on, the Microsoft disability or accessibility settings, right? You always have to constantly say, microphone, wake up, and all of these things, right? And then when you try to say something like, go to desktop, I wonder, I need to dictate, oh, hold on. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. But compared to Speaking Access, it's listening, but it's very patient with you.
Yes, and it, to be honest with you, it took 5 years to make it. So there's a lot of time and testing into this thing because I wanted to make sure it's right. Because there's just so many. Thank you for noticing that. I really appreciate it. I just want to stipulate the one thing here, though, that JC and I don't have a lot of experience with JAWS. I want to tip my hat to them. They've done a lot of good work. What I wanted to do was come up with an entry-level thing that didn't really compete with them, that people such as yourself and other people could afford to get into it themselves at an entry level. So that, so the person could go buy it themselves. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. How do you want to proceed from here, Brandon?
So what was kind of interesting too is the post mode, the spell mode, and forget. But again, when I was using it and using the dictation without a quiet scenario, I want to see how you can actually perform, dictating into a Word document, fixing some words, and trying to say dictate numbers and things and such.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Now, the one thing I have to point out that's different about my program is that it's an audio program. When you open post mode, there isn't a visual interface for sighted people, because believe it or not, in my experimentation, there's a lot of sighted people that cannot work with it unless there's something there to see. But for audio users, you don't need to have the website, the post mode showing or speaking access showing. You should go to what you want focus on is Word. I'm not Word. You can have Microsoft Word, but I have a tendency to use WordPad because it works with it by default. So how about I go open WordPad, and then I'll just dictate a quick message once I describe what's going on, and then go from there?
It's there, that we fine.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Open WordPad.
Document, WordPad window, rich text window, edit multi-line blank.
Open post mode.
Post mode is now ready.
Hello, Brandon. Question. No, not question mark. Sorry.
Oh, Brandon, question the one questioner in the third.
Hello, Brandon, comma, new line.
Hello, Brandon, symbol, comma, command, new line.
Okay. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay. Period.
Symbol, period.
Okay. I hope that this can help people.
I hope that this can help people.
Okay. Comma.
Symbol, comma.
Okay. I'm not being very creative right now.
I'm not being very creative right now.
I'm not being very creative.
I'm not being very creative.
Okay. Right now.
Right now all.
Right now.
Right now all.
Access second choice.
Right now.
Okay. Period.
Symbol, period.
Okay. Proofread paste box.
Paste box reads. Uppercase. Hello, uppercase. Brandon, symbol, comma, command, new line, uppercase. I'm glad to be here, symbol, period, uppercase. I hope that this can help people, symbol, comma, uppercase. I'm not being very creative right now, symbol, period.
Access post. Okay, just to quickly describe to what happened there, Brandon, is that post mode.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta close post mode. Stop. Close post mode.
Main task area. Ready.
That's the only time that you have to be careful what you say, because she's repeating back to you. Speaking access, what happens is you open it up, there's two boxes. There's a smaller one where you dictate your text, and it will say back to you what it thinks you said, and take that text and put it into the word box, and it'll read back to you. They've got two modes, one that'll proofread everything back to you, or in regular mode, it'll just repeat. It'll tell you if it's a number, like it'll start out with numeral 5, or if it just says 5, it's the word. And then if it's a symbol, it'll start with the word symbol. And then if you like it, and it's all good, then you say okay, and then it will, that's why it's called the paste box. It will glue the sentence together. And then when I was done, because my focus of my computer is on the WordPad, when I said access post, it posts all that text using the clipboard, copied to the clipboard, and then pasted it to WordPad. And it is exactly as I dictated it.
Well, yes, it was kind of cool too, because, when you were describing it during your videos on the guide on the web, it's like how post mode works, as you said, like the first area, it's like where you dictate your text and it's listening constantly. But as you can, you can short phrase things and then paste it into the paste box, right? So like how you described it, it's like stitching a thread, right? So like, things and such. And then when you're ready to paste or post what you said, you just use the command and it inserts what you dictated to where you need to be.
Exactly. It can be on a form, it can be anywhere that the cursor's blinking. That's where it'll go to.
Yes. So, let's see. So far pretty good. So it's really interesting how it works, and you can see, as you can see, you can catch, when you're having a problem, things and such. Can you go over that proofreading feature again?
Okay, so how about we try I'll go to another Navigate programs.
Task view window. Running applications list. Document. Word and row. News.google.ca news.
Right key 4 times.
Document. WordPad column 5 of 8.
Enter key.
Document. WordPad window. Rich text window edit multi-line selected home key benefits some examples.
Beginning of the document.
Designing an effective website for accessibility software. Home key benefits some example commands video and screenshots.
Select
price.
all. No.
40.
Up key.
Designing
Line.
Designing an effective website for
Proofread
access.
selection.
Uppercase. Designing in uppercase. Effective uppercase. Website for uppercase. Accessibility uppercase. Software command new line.
So how's that sound? That's in the document.
Oh, cool. Yes. So it works and everything. I've seen it, and actually everyone can hear it here. So, it's really interesting. You see like how it's really smooth when you really have a controlled area, when you have, the microphone in front of you, right? But it's really cool because, making it easy and accessible to, proofread and dictate the text where you need it and selecting text. So I seen this too. So why don't we kind of show the people how you select text now using Speaking Access?
Okay. I'll just jump down a couple lines. Down key 2 times.
Overview. Selling an
Select 3 words to the right.
SS requires a selected.
So I didn't end up on a real word. So you can select words to the right, the left, and then you can move words. All you do is say left 5 words.
There are more than 30 words in the selection.
Left 5 words.
Assistive. SS requires a unselected.
How about I'll show you really quickly what we can do with some of the selection commands. Select 2 words to the right.
Assistive software selected.
Selection how many words?
There are 3 words.
That's because it selected the space. Selection character count. Selection character count.
There are 19 characters.
So yeah, and then it'll spell out the word for you. All you have to do is say selection spelling, and then it'll spell out the word for you. And and then you can also control the menu. All you have to do is say, I don't want to say it right now, but you get access to the menu. You can also just say open program and then save program and yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So now
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's pretty cool. It's like your friend that's right there. That's how I described it to the client that I was working with. It sound like, it's like your friend in the background, just waiting for you to, talk to them, right? When you need them. And she found it pretty cool. And, and she found it pretty good when she needed it. So, like reading her emails. I taught her how to do it. I told her how to do what we did here too. And she found it very smooth, like how she can now just have Speaking Access open, and then I taught her to move to the words, select the words, speak the selection, and things and such. And she found it very, very, very smooth. So she sounded like she was very comfortable with it. So, I think everyone should enjoy this because it's a really nice program to have when you need it, and for those who are multiple disabilities or have one form of disability. If you can't use the keyboard, you can use your voice, which is the greatest thing too, because, everyone can type and, senior citizens or elderlies, it makes it hard for them to, access the computer using a mouse or using their keyboard and things and such. I think Speaking Access was kind of designed to, help out with some of those things, which is really nice.
Well, I thank you so much, Brandon. I've heard it several times now, but it really helps because that was the point, right? That was the point. To make it natural and because I did, yeah. The other thing I just want to mention is that probably a lot of people would be surprised that it's like only $30 US. That's what the main thing I wanted to do. I haven't taken investors on or anything because they all would want to control the price. Then one of the main things that when I interviewed people that used audio, that affordability was the most important thing. So that took a lot of extra work, and but we got it down. Now it's working.
Yes, and I find it amazing too, cause like $30 just for a program that can do a lot of things this natural and pretty efficiently. I'm like, man, this guy must have been at work hard making this program.
It's a long-term investment.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I was speaking to like my coworkers and other individuals who kind of work around me, who have clients who are either, it's weird in some perspective. Like when you lose your vision, you won't believe how many people are kind of like afraid to come back to using the computer after being, after they lost their vision for so long, because it could have been a year or 2 or 3. And some of them, like me, like, man, accessing the computer, using the keyboard, coming back to it. Again, all the memory stuff, and, you might get frustrated. But for my older clients, there's something like this would definitely work, and I'm probably going to have to start recommending it, as it's pretty affordable, and people who are older will enjoy this, because again, learning the keyboard at their age, or how they will frustrate and yell at me like, I don't want to touch the key. Like, well, what about this? How don't we just talk to your computer? So again, it could be frightening at it, but it takes time for them to kind of bring it in and get comfortable with something like this. Because now then, almost everything is new in this kind of era. Everything almost is digitalized and using the computer, and how we do things now is kind of weird.
It is. I don't know how. Yeah, it definitely is. It's pretty hard to do anything without a computer these days, or at least a cell phone.
Yes. And, there are still some people out there who are actually still using like the old school flip phones and things and such. And I don't blame them, because, if something's now broke, don't fix it. So like if they know to be comfortable, let them be comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that as a developer, I think one of the biggest mistakes that companies are making now is that they're concentrating on the money and not the user. And I don't just mean, like, I'm sure that you have that problem in assistive tech, but we have that, like, mainstream, not, you know what I'm saying? Google, a lot of these big companies, they just, whether you're sighted, whatever way you interface with the computer, they're not designing it for the user. They're designing it for their profit margin. So everybody's frustrated, but hopefully the AI gets better, and everything is getting better that way.
Yes. And it's so weird how we get into that topic of AI. So let's think about it. So will you say that you're using AI to kind of help you work along with speaking access?
Yes. Well, to be honest with you, because of the affordability of speaking access, the business model is based on the fact that hopefully people like you will really like the program. They'll spread the word, just natural advertising, because that's all I can afford. And, but then what I'm doing is I'm developing a number of other products, like, I didn't mention before, but Speaking Access is completely locally hosted, so you don't need an internet connection, except for obviously to do internet stuff. And this is awesome, but the one thing that it does, as you could tell, the dictation, because it's locally done, can be a little bit finicky. Whereas I think that audio users should have the opportunity to have access to the same dictation technology. So what I'm working on right now, and I'm just working out the bugs, is have you heard of Whisper AI?
I haven't gone too deep into AI, but let's talk more about it.
Whisper AI is a dictation that's locally hosted, and they call it AI, but it's just a really good dictation locally. And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm experimenting with two things that your listeners can listen. Whisper AI, which is like a really, it's an open source recognition model put out by OpenAI. And then there's this other one called VOSK, and it's for, it does the dictation really well, but with no capitalization and no, like you have to tell it everything, and it would have to be incorporated with an AI. The other thing I'm experimenting with is that AI people like OpenAI have a back end that developers such as that I and other developers can use to hook their programs up to AI. So in other words, you have a program like Speaking Access, right? And you dictate your stuff and blah blah blah, and then but you're not totally sure. This is say it's a really business important business letter, and you don't want to accidentally leave something that the program might have missed. So you send it off using your own program, your own account, and extremely affordable, maybe like $5 a month, because it has to be online. It'll completely check everything for you and edit it, and then it's done on your own. And it's also done through a more friendly assistive tech. And the other thing is that eventually we'll get into is I'm experimenting. I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's you get into local, like it runs on your computer. One's Llama, and the other one is called Phi, and it's put out by Microsoft. They're actually pretty good. You'd be amazed on what they can do on just a basic computer. But there's such a learning curve. I'm getting there, but their potential is really good. Like for it to take pictures on your desktop, it's probably a year or two out. But a locally hosted AI should be able to do everything that you want it to do. In other words, you take a screenshot. Like, I don't know if it happens anymore, but back in the day on Windows, if you had for some reason, if you had an error or something and you get this little text box pop up, for some reason, NVDA just couldn't read it. And once in a while, you get those problems, like on a website that just something won't show up. Well, you just say, within a year or two, you just say and it'll be locally hosted as well. You say to the computer, like, what's on the screen? What's not working? It'll tell you everything that's there. That's important.
Yes.
Exciting stuff, eh?
Yeah. So it's interesting because again, I run into the problems too, like every day. Like, why is it telling me like yes, no, but it's not reading off anything in a dialogue screen? Like, what am I pressing yes or no to, right? And you're like, should I press yes? Should I press no? Sometimes screen readers might catch some things and not. It's just very interesting. And again, how you see people now who are blind using their iPhones with all these different AI apps, ChatGPT, Gemini, or things and such. And you know how like the rave for the Meta Ray-Bans came out, and everybody was like, ooh, let's see how these work for the blind. And you're like, it works pretty well. As like, I wouldn't say like, don't like always use it as like your normal eye, because AI can still be deceiving sometimes, but here and there, AI can help, a lot of people. Even though people are scared of, artificial intelligence, they believe, one day, like how AI robots and things and such. I'm not sure you heard the movie I, Robot, where Will Smith was in it.
Love that movie, yeah.
And people like, I hope, when AI comes out, I hope we don't have any humanoids, just like those, like, they turn to kiss the humans.
Well, to be honest with you, I was kind of concerned about that for a while, but then I realized there's a huge difference between AI and large language models. Large language models are a extremely intelligent spell check. I'm not trying to take away from how brilliant and how well they do, but they're not being cognitive like you and I. The AI that's going to threaten us is probably still a ways away. It ain't going to be large language models. And if we allow these large language models access to nuclear bombs, it's our own stupidity. But I think that what I like about the large language models is that they're young enough and they're coming up at a speed that we can start dealing with these issues, because they will start getting smarter. There's no doubt about it. Whether it takes 5 years, whether it takes 100 years, these AI models will get smarter. And I just like the way that it's slowly coming out, and that we get a chance to deal with it, have this conversation, a realistic conversation, because it's here to stay. I just don't see any businesses giving it up. But I did like that you mentioned that you got to double check it. I deal with AI every day, and that thing will lie to you. You have to double check it.
Yes. So like, for us who are using AI to generate images, so like the background to my podcast, I had to make sure like the wording was right. The images look kind of okay, but so far everything looks so good. So I had to make sure like I had a pair of eyes like before I go like, put it on YouTube or anything. Say like, Brandon, did you know the word is sightless is spelled wrong? Oh, I didn't know. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And I'd hate to say it, but there are some people that are horrible spellers and they wouldn't have caught it either.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I also, believe it or not, I know this is strange, but it adds to my story. I was a professional chainsaw carver before I got into this, and I was working on a letter because I just heard, because that's how I make my living right now until I get this going. And I was marketing to a customer, and I heard that there was a new construction program in town. And so I asked ChatGPT for the contact information. It made up a business in town. It completely made up a business. It took me 20 minutes to figure out that it completely made it up. It made up a website, it made up a phone number, everything. And it looked so impressive. I was like, wow, this is impressive. I was even more impressed that it lied to me so well.
Yes. So it's like, like in real life, like, are you deceiving me with your words? But you look at AI, like, I need to kind of make sure, is this real? Because, if I call this number and I was like, beep, boop, beep, this number doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it happens in an innocent way. But yeah, people do need to keep a close eye on it. That's why I think the vibe coding, I'm excited for vibe coders, but anything that is, it seems like the people that work with AI and are doing something in particular in their own field, they do need to have a knowledge of what they're doing.
Yes. It's just, how AI is coming and everything. So like, who is it? Now, like, I believe the newer models like a ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI form it is, like now there's the ability now, like you can have a video and you can put a person there, but they're not really there. And like you're going to frame someone for someone that's not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how do you find to see, the lot of the AI is doing the video awesome. How do you have you listened to any of the audio of these AI videos of like people that are famous? Do they sound good to you?
It could be deceiving, but you can catch the way someone speaks or articulate. You can tell a robot from a human, right?
Yeah.
So it also depends because, I've now been blind for like 10 years and I've been using my ears now for like really for almost everything. So like I can catch the tone or the mood or feeling of someone. But like, being someone my age going on YouTube, like hearing like Donald Trump rapping or, John Cena, right?
Yeah.
You can actually tell like, that's not Donald Trump. But again, people use it again, it's not just a tool. Like AI is such a powerful tool now that it can really help to almost do anything. So, people use it to make fake, voicemail box, like of their own voice or of a celebrity. So like even on the Meta Ray-Bans, how they have these celebrity voices, it's not really like John Cena. Isn't like an AI version of John Cena.
Yeah, it's got that. See, I think that you have an advantage because you're listening to a lot of people, like a lot of these videos, when you're watching them, there's a lot of stuff going on. And if you're just watching it just as like you'd watch them like iRobot, you miss a lot of detail. And if you pay attention, the AI is taking a lot of creative, like they'll put a leg somewhere that the leg might not be. So I think the audio allows you, I think audio is actually more of a indicator of an AI than I think the nuances are better for spotting that kind of stuff.
Yes. So I can see, because now, like for people who produce music, I do it here and there, or beatboxing, there are AI tools that can now, kind of make like audio editing a little easier. I haven't seen one completely, but I believe there could be one now on the market. So like a completely AI audio editor for music and production. So, that could be an idea. So, if you listen to the podcast, you take that idea.
To be honest with you, I've got I'm doing a lot of experimentation with sound. There's a lot of possibilities.
Yes. So, again, because, before, like, AI, there were things like there was a particular microphone that would emulate sounds and then put it into a music production software for like snare, kicks, drums, even for synthesizers and things and such, which was kind of cool. But then, I think you also had to have like a, their main program to work with it so that, but it was really weird how AI and everything. So like, even before you, I'm not sure you heard of another AI because I was working with, well, not working, but I had an interview with people from InnoSearch who made AI shopping accessible, where you can shop, widely anywhere, making it easier for people who are low vision, blind, or, if you're not either, it makes it easier still to shop, with different vendors.
Plus, they have a phone number too, which makes it nice too.
Yes. And so, I told all my clients, like, hey, you guys got a problem, just, call this number and see you can make an order. So,
yeah, I checked it out. Like you sent me, I checked it out when I was listening to your. They've got a Canada. It's broken down into areas, and I really appreciated that. It was from Canada, and it gave me a Canadian phone number, and I did a search. I liked it. It was good.
Yes. So again, we'll be cashing up with InnoSearch, particularly in a couple of weeks. So no spoilers quite yet, but yes. But so far, looking at what they've been doing, it's just fascinating. Like you said, AI is evolving. It's at a slow but steady pace. But again, we don't know how fast AI can go further. At first, it was kind of a niche kind of thing, but now it's like it's everywhere.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, what I want it to do is I basically want it so that AI becomes reliable enough that people that just use audio or blind users, visually impaired, whatever user, can program by themselves. So in other words, that if the community isn't getting software that they like, then they just go out and write it for themselves. I think that's a fair way to do it, eh?
Yeah. It's pretty fair because there are like some audio programs I use to kind of EQ my audio for this podcast or things and such. So, it's interesting how you program. And I have talked to people who are blind and programming. I'm like, how do you use Python and all of this jargon and things? It's a lot of coding, right? Like, I can't memorize all of that.
Well, but not only that, like, I mean, the name gives it away. There's a lot of things that I developed that for Speaking Access, and it's in a program called Visual Studio. You can see the problem right there. Right?
Yes.
Right? It's so much going on. There's like probably 30 different windows, and they don't like it. Yeah, it needs to be fixed because there's certain. I mean, if you're dealing with the C prompt and just dealing with that, then yes, I've seen some marvelous programs that just use that use the audio, and they do it really well. But unfortunately, in order to get Visual Studio is the only way to access certain things that are offered. So I know that you can navigate it, but it just makes it way more harder than it needs to be. So the AI will definitely help all that.
Yes. So let's go back to a little bit of Speaking Access. So we use it for dictation and things and such. But one thing that everyone needs to do all the time now is kind of navigate the web, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's kind of show the people how that kind of works here with Speaking Access.
Sure. I've got a website loaded, but I haven't had a chance to see if how. We'll try one. I have no idea how accessible it is. Okay. So we'll just get there. Show browser.
News.google.ca news. Search
Browser tab 3.
The world's first wooden satellite launches into orbit. World Economic Forum document. Heading Level 2. Why LignoSat matters.
Next heading.
Advantages of wood in space. Heading Level 2.
Down key.
Wood offers surprising benefits for spacecraft. It is lightweight, strong, and doesn't block radio.
Start reading.
Wood offers surprising benefits for spacecraft. It is lightweight, strong, and doesn't block radio waves, making it ideal for enclosing antennas and sensors. Unlike other materials, it prevents the formation of space debris by keeping all instruments safely inside its structure.
Beginning of the document.
Clickable navigation landmark navigation bar menu item open navigation menu.
Enter key.
Navigation menu dialog. Menu.
Escape key. Escape key.
Open navigation menu 1 of 2.
Next form field.
F.
So that means that there's no form field. Next button.
B.
Next button. No buttons. Okay, so, and then you've got, you can go to, I'll do something here. I always forget I'm not sure if this has level 2 headings or 3 headings. And I can never remember the command, so I'll go search it. The speaking access has a search menu. So I'll just do that.
Okay.
Search menu.
What do you want to search the menu for?
Headings.
Searching the menu for headings. Found one item in the menu. 1 Navigate headings. In Navigate website with screen reader.
Navigate headings.
Have loaded Navigate headings. 14 items in list. 1 Next heading. 2 Previous heading. 3 Next level 1 heading. 4 Previous level 1 heading. 5 Next level 2 heading.
Next level 2 heading.
Closing menu.
2.
Yeah, so it doesn't have any level 2 headings. I apologize I didn't get a chance to do that, but you can see how that works, and that it will go into the one thing, Brandon, before I forget, is that you don't have to wait for speaking access to finish speaking. Unlike what your grandmother might have taught you, it's okay to interrupt her, and it's designed to do that. When you hear the information you want, you just say it.
Yes, that's how I kind of interact with my clients. So again, I tell them like it's good to listen, but you kind of improve as you're listening. You understand like the kind of information you need to hear or not hear, and you just speak through it. So it's a kind of a hard concept to understand and get down. So like where you're listening for like important things, but not for the important. It's like you're using your ears to filter out the junk that you don't need, right? But it's useful because, you know, you don't always need to read everything on the screen. You just need, you know, the information you want.
Yeah, exactly. But also what's nice about having the search menu is that you get that one command that you got every 300 hours of operating the computer. It's right there. So, because to be honest with you, Brandon, I can't run the computer with a screen reader without my program. I never did learn. I have trouble with my brain the way I did. Yeah. So my program allows that to happen because I have trouble remembering, like when you've got like on the keyboard, when you got the link and just hit L, that's cool. But when you've got like a form field, I don't even remember what the form, they've got letters that have nothing. I mean, I'm sure they do, but to me, I can't make the correlation. Like my brain works in making correlations, and sometimes the correlation to the you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand.
I'm saying.
It does that randomly, but not very often.
Yeah, it's not
It does not regulate, but it's not very often.
Close post mode?
Just to close post mode.
Close post mode?
Main task area. Ready.
Yeah.
I don't remember opening that up, but obviously I did.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of still kind of, you know, hearing this, but it's working smoothly because, you know, I ran into that kind of issue too. Right. So like, you know, I'll be talking all of a sudden like, hold on a minute. I thought I closed post mode, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it doesn't happen very often. Like I have just so I'm not to over talking, but I just want to get this out really quick. I have it on all the time. Like I'll switch it off of the microphone, off of the speakers, and have the main speakers. And once in a while, it'll pop up with "thank you" or something strange. But most of the time, 99% of the time, it works good.
yes. So that's what I kind of like how you described it. So like it works in a way that a person can operate. It's like it's very, I don't want to say like made for dummies, But like you said, it's kind of hard for people when you're trying to learn a screen reader, when you are losing your vision or you have lost your vision and you haven't used the keyboard or the web. You can see like there's so many things that you have learned. It's like people ask Brennan, how in the world do you remember all of these commands? Good question. I don't know. But for people like Brennan, why are these letters associated with these different web elements? This don't make sense. Well then, I'm not the one who made it, so I can't really explain it to you. But this is how a normal person who is blind using a screen reader will kind of operate the web. But you can say, Brennan, pressing H or U for unvisited links or V for visited links and things and such. Like, there's so many things to remember, right? Like trying to train someone to break it down in a way, it does take time. But for seniors who are learning how to speak and access or things such, this kind of helps them kind of like, I forgot the letter to go to the next screen, right? So hold on, we can go to on the web, next link or previous link or next 5 links or previous 5 links, right? Like,
yeah, you got it.
It's just very easy because people they like I like to hear myself talk and it makes me hear better. It's true because how some kids will make a rap for their quizzes 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 8 + 1 + 2 = 3, right? So it just, how people, it's just way how everyone's brains operate. And it's just very different. And, how technology for the blind or the visually impaired or whatever disability you may have, it just improve. It's just, evolving at a rate that, you can never see back in 2007 or 2008. Just imagine if we had this kind of technology way back then.
No kidding. You see, when I was first inventing speaking access, when I was experimenting with the interface, I realized that the power of conversation, we communicate a horrendous amount of information in a conversation. Like you and I have been talking. Can you imagine how much information we just pass back and forth? No visuals. I mean, and so that's why I created speaking access the way I did and the way I'm moving forward, is that by conversation, it just feels more natural. I mean, it's not as quick as you are on a keyboard, but it's for people that don't use the keyboard professionally and need to get that letter email done in 10 seconds. It's just a very natural, I hope it's a very natural, it's like a fifth, it's another interface. It's kind of like a keyboard, but it's its own interface by itself.
Yes. So how I describe it to my people who are wanting to use this, right? Even though I'm teaching you keyboard commands and things and such, it kind of acts like a backup server. So I forgot how to go to the next heading. Oh wait, I can just say next heading, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I kind of combine, what I'm teaching or when people are learning how to use speaking access who are interested into it, right? So far, I only had one client, right? Because again, that client really has, sometimes some difficulties using their hands, right? So, speaking access is there to help. So, it's been very useful and she was very happy to have found something that works kind of smoothly and natural without having to, be on one computer, which you can go onto another computer she has. She can just go speaking access and don't have to rely on anything else.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And this is just the foundation.
Yes.
I'm going to be working on it for years to come.
Yes. It's really interesting. So, you guys have experimented how to use speaking access. We learned about some AI terminology and some things that, kind of change the world. And as you heard, Christopher is not just working with just speaking access. He's working almost every day to, incorporate something to make something work better, which is I find great. So he's breaking down the barriers to improve the dictation and things and such when you're writing or writing emails, navigating the web, or filling out forms. He's a guy who's working really hard to make this work.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Brandon.
I know.
It's just meant to be a little motivational tool.
Yes. again, doing this today kind of breaks down the barrier because people, again, like, why do I need to talk to my computer? Even though, it sounds like you're a crazy person talking to the computer. But again, you don't know how people use their computer. And, everyone has the way they do something. So, like, it's their own tools.
Yeah. Yeah. Before, can I just make one offer to you and your listeners?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to, and you can edit this out if you don't like. What I'm trying to do is get it tested by 25, 30 people. And Microsoft gives me a limited number of things, of programs I can give away. I'll speak faster. So any of your listeners want to download the 7-day free trial, including yourself, and if they just test it and make sure it works on their system and just email me or contact me through my website, I'll give you a free copy. I can give 5 away on this broadcast. But is that okay to offer?
Yes. So you heard that, guys. If you want some freebies, if you want to use Speaking Access and you think you're a client of mine or anyone in the world that needs, a little access with your voice to help you navigate the computer, just, leave a comment on YouTube in the comment section, or, you can go to the website for Speaking Access and find the email for Christopher or Speaking Access itself. And, just tell them, hey, we heard from Brandon, he was the free access.
Yeah, totally. That, and I love the YouTube comment. You've got some you got commenters on your YouTube channel, which is nice.
Well, yes. So I've been doing this for a while, even before becoming blind. But, doing this podcast, I've been here and there with other podcasts and things and such. But I think the Sightless Dungeon is something that I'm really going to be using more because, getting into it and meeting new people and getting the connection is something interesting.
Yes, and I think it's also helps out people, and you have a good voice and you have a clear voice. And you're a great interviewer.
Oh, why? Thank you. Yes. So, with me and Christopher, we are done here. We're going to be leaving the Sightless Dungeon. And again, for the adventures that we explore are always a journey, but the treasures and people that we discover are treasurable. So, you will catch me on the Sightless Dungeon, on YouTube, Spotify, and even on Amazon Music. So, all you have to say is, hey lady, play the Sightless Dungeon podcast on Amazon, and it should pop up. So, with that being said, thank you, Christopher, for being here in the Sightless Dungeon with me.
Do you mind if I just give my website really quick?
Go ahead.
SpeakingAccess.com.
Well, yes, if you want it, go ahead. So go ahead and look at speakingaccess.com, learn about it. They have very, very, very helpful videos. And so, if you also want to be a tester for this program, just give me in the comment or go to Speaking Access and again, just say you're from the Sightless Dungeon or I know Brandon. So, again, thank you, Christopher, and everyone for listening to another podcast made by us, the people, and the Sightless Dungeon. So, have a good one and peace out. This has been the Sightless Dungeon.